person actually knows about AI or not in detail. So how do you go about that?
As a hiring manager, it's not very difficult to figure out.
95% of the people calling themselves AI product managers actually are not AI product managers. And this is not what I'm saying, this is you just heard VP of a product says. In this episode, he exactly shares how he can spot fake AI expertise within minutes by asking few questions. Also, he shared how you can become an AI product manager if he is going to start from today. So let's get into it. If you're new to my channel, then click on the subscribe button. A lot of informative content is coming on.
Hi Vishal, this is a common thing happening these days because of this AI bubble, I can say, or maybe because of AI is so trending these days that people are so much curious and they literally want to go from AI curious to AI confident. So it is a kind of a big FOMO that is happening right now. So what should be that ideal thing that people should do for evaluating those unvalidated problems that actually require GenAI solution, or like the problems that do not require any GenAI solution? So what should be that approach in trying to resolve those problems?
Thank you, Rupinder. I think it's a very valid question in today's time where everyone is trying to stitch in AI into everything that they do, right? One funny example was that I was talking to somebody, a very young guy, a computer science engineer, and he was proudly saying that I built a multi-agent orchestrator to decide which haircut will look good on me. And he spent, I think, almost 3, 4 days, 5 days on this activity. Being AI curious is definitely important because if you're not curious, then you will not work towards building your or becoming a AI confident person. So the thing starts from being curious. Be it AI, be it anything in the world. And to becoming an AI confident person, you need to keep practicing, you need to keep learning. Now, in order to learn, first thing is understanding the fundamentals. And that's where I feel the biggest gap comes. People straight away jump to vibe coding, I'm building this and this product, etc., without even understanding the fundamentals of it, right? When I say fundamentals, how does it work? Is it really important? Yes, no, etc. I have been seeing this situation happening across wherein people are just trying to stitch in AI into anything and everything that they do just for the sake of it. And for that, I built a framework for myself, so which I call as to AI or not to AI.
Hmm.
Right? So it's like a set of questions. Again, these are based on my experience, based on my knowledge that I have gathered so far. And you simply enter yes or no into that, and it will give you a score very objectively as to do you really need AI embedding into this particular piece of a feature or particular feature or product that you have or not. So I think that is something that has helped me keep the bias aside.
Mhm.
But there are certain situations wherein companies intentionally leverage AI or talk about AI to introduce that marketing aspect of it, right? So that is one thing. So if that's the case, then go ahead with it. But if you are trying to add AI to your features just because you feel no AI is cool or this will provide me a lot of value, etc., you need to think really deep because it's an added cost
Hmm.
and maintaining AI kind of models that keep coming by. It's, I mean, every month we see new models keep coming, etc. So you will have to keep updating a lot of things in your models, in your logic as well. So that's a big project in itself. So that's what I feel is an important.
I think you specifically shared that example of a candidate who actually was working on some AI activity. So these days, a lot of PM candidates or the APM candidates are actually working on a lot of portfolios where they like try to do a lot of projects into their portfolios. But one thing which is the key problem right now is like it is very difficult to understand if the candidate actually knows about the platform scalability or the monetization things about like how AI is getting used these days. So as a VP, like whenever you hire any specific kind of candidate, so what is that actual differentiator you are look for? Because you have to understand if that person actually knows about AI or not in detail. So how do you go about that?
As a hiring manager, it's not very difficult to figure out
Hmm.
whether you know. So I have had instances wherein the person has written like AI product leader, I mean AI product manager, multiple use, I mean used multiple times AI in one page of resume. But the moment you ask them few questions such as where do you use AI? What do you use AI for? The best answer a lot of candidates that they're able to give is I just use it for researching as an equivalent or an alternate to Google search. That's okay. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but then you need to, I mean, you can't yourself call like an AI leader, AI expert. And this is across from people with 2 years of experience till 10 years of experience or even more. So the expectations definitely from different experience that I mean, are different, but you need to be a little more subtle about what you tend to write. And when you go deeper into them, so okay, in this particular feature that you built for your organization, where did you use AI? How did you decide on the model? How did you go about the ROI calculation for that?
Hmm.
Why did you decide that AI will solve the problem which you cannot do it deterministically? So if you ask some of these questions, you will know that the person has problem. I mean, not worked or worked. I mean, depending on the
Hmm.
kind of answers that they give. So it's not that difficult at all. But the point is that if you have done something, right, understand the nuances of it. It's still an emerging field. It's evolving very fast at a like a breakneck pace, something we have not seen in
Yeah.
decades. So that's okay if you don't know anything, right? But again, set the expectations right.
So I think a lot of candidates are in the same boat where they don't know anything about AI. So what should be that roadmap for those people or candidates who actually want to get into specifically AI product management?
I think if I were to give like a 60-day roadmap, right,
Hmm.
or sort of 8-week roadmap, what I will suggest is start with the 1 or 2 weeks, first 2 weeks spend on learning the fundamentals, getting familiar yourself with the terminologies that are being used. What is actually AI? How does it work? Right? You may not understand it completely, but at least have a conceptual level understanding. How does it work? You will appreciate what are agents, how are they different from workflows, what is reinforcement learning, what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, what are the different use cases. So one big problem that I feel that people don't know, what are the different use cases. I often
Correct.
ask them, if you were given like a full freedom to implement in AI in your organization, right? Just think of the use cases. Don't even think of ROI for now. They're not able to come up with those answers. First 2 weeks, my suggestion will be to build on these, the concepts. Pick up some of the projects that you could pick up. That you could automate in your organization using simple techniques such as Claude Cover, maybe gems, skills, custom GPTs, etc. Whatever tool you use, spend 2 weeks on that. It will give you a lot of confidence. You will start seeing ROI immediately.
Hmm.
Because if you have to write a prompt every day for a same thing, or maybe multiple times in a week, then you're better off creating a gem or a skill for that, and it will save you good amount of time. So I think, and within this piece, I will also add prompting as a concept, because a lot of people still prompt the way they're searching on Google. So answers are also like that.
Vague, yeah.
So in the first 4 weeks, try building yourself familiarity, pick up certain basic projects, and I can share some of the links after this in terms of
Yeah.
the kind of projects that people could pick up. And one piece that I will recommend highly is for especially for candidates who are out there in the market for job search. In addition to your resume, which is a PDF, create a landing page for yourself. In today's time, it's not very difficult.
Hmm. Agreed.
And if you have a resume, if you know what you want, you can get a landing page created in maybe like an hour or max 2 hours. Push the code to GitHub, link it to Vercel and deploy it. If you want, you can take your own name. You can have like rupindersingh.com.
Yeah.
So that essentially will help you reflect that you know AI on your resume. You simply don't need to use the word, right? You are demonstrating your skills and capabilities that you know.
Correct.
Now, coming on to the fifth and sixth week, if I were to say, I will talk about building on a problem statement, vibe coding, right?
Hmm.
So which we say. Now you could pick up with the Lovable, you could pick up with Google AI Studio, or you could move to anti-gravity, Cursor, Claude Code, etc., whatever you feel comfortable. But somebody who's starting from fresh, I will recommend them picking up AI Studio or Lovable, because that also gives them some confidence, etc. Straight away moving to Claude Code, Cursor, etc., will make them little
Yeah. Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, right? If they're not familiar with the different terminologies, etc.
Correct.
So ship a product end to end, right? And there are a lot of things which have become automated, right? So when I first used Lovable, I think it was maybe 1.5 year ago, there were a lot of things that you have to do manually.
Hmm.
But now everything has become like a simple command or a prompt,
Yeah.
right? One liner, two-liner prompt can do that. So do that, set up a project in Google Cloud, try to integrate Gemini or any other API, etc., if that works. So this will again give a confidence, right, to you. But pick up a genuine problem statement. It may not be very big. right? The idea is not to build a billion-dollar or a unicorn level product. The idea is to solve a genuine problem which you will use at least,
Hmm.
right, on a frequent basis.
Correct.
So build that, and then in the last 2 weeks, I will suggest moving to uh, Cursor, anti-gravity, Cloud Code, etc. Maybe building the same product in that fashion, right? Same product, that's okay. You, if you want, you can pick up another product and trying to go deeper into it. And once you're done with these 8 weeks, the next step obviously could be, if you feel your product has some value and if you have built something which can be used by other users, work on the distribution for that.
Exactly.
Work on distribution, reach out a few people. If you can afford to, try spending some money and try getting some users, talk to them,
Hmm.
right? Because what I'm realizing is with AI, the fundamentals are becoming less and less. People don't talk to users, people straight away jump to building it.
Correct.
And this is what we are also calling as AI slow,
Hmm.
right? So you keep building it, but and you keep discarding it, right? It's
Yeah.
like a kick or a high that you get
Guesswork. Yeah.
momentarily, and then you're done with it.
Correct.
So this would be my suggestion to build. I've not kept product fundamentals in these 8 weeks. The reason for that is I'm assuming that person will have some idea about product fundamentals, but if that's not there, so that is something that needs to be added.
Right, right. So I think that's a very practical roadmap that Vishal has shared. So like Vishal shared that framework and the link, so I would be adding that into the description so audience or candidates can check that out. So Vishal, now moving forward, like you mentioned a lot of terms, so I think candidates can go through it. But one key thing that will actually differentiate is that what skills they actually need to become those AI product managers. So what should be those skills?
I think one simple skill which we talked about at the start also was just be curious.
Hmm.
Just be curious. If you don't know anything, ask AI. I've not done much coding in my life, right? Um, but if I don't know how to start, I simply ask, right? I use Claude. I simply ask, I want to build this. Let's create a plan on how are we going to build it. First, define the functionalities, features, basic MVP version that you will go about. I don't simply say that build this for me. No, maybe just brainstorm for a few minutes, right? Come up with the specs that you would want because the output that the Claude may give you, like a version one, which may be very different from what you're expecting, right? So if you have clear expectations in your mind, brainstorm, do like a requirement freeze in a way, right? Okay, then go ahead with building. And wherever you're stuck, just keep asking. Just keep asking. How do I go about it? Help me explain step by step.
Yeah,
It will take some time, right? But eventually, after spending some time, what you will realize is that some of these things are becoming a second nature also, right? So maybe somebody who doesn't know GitHub. So once you set up a GitHub repo, you push your code to it, you deploy to Netlify, Vercel, whatever tool that you use, it will become like, okay, I need to do this, and this is how it gets done. So
mm,
you will become very familiar to it. So spend some time, understand the basic around that, and then move to Claude and ask, how do I go about it? I think that is one very important piece that I will recommend being curious. Second piece, if in my understanding, I believe is soft skills,
mm,
which includes your communication, which includes your stakeholder management, right? How do you deal with people around you? How do you communicate to them? How do you manage stakeholders? Because again, building is becoming a commodity. It is not at a stage wherein like everything can be automated, but it is moving towards commodity.
right.
But how do you explain the requirements to your engineers? How do you explain to developers, designers, or how do you deal with hundreds of stakeholders, or maybe whatever number of stakeholders that you have within your organization, right? Internal, external, etc. So that is going to be another important skill, which will become even more important for product managers.
Got it. I think that's really insightful information. So I think everyone should stay curious and learn how to that. So I can share one example from my experience. So last year, when I was building a Java-based application, I was using ChatGPT at the time because Google Studio was not available, and I struggled for 3 to 4 months. But these days, it's very easy to create end-to-end products. I actually launched that, like within one day, I was able to create the end-to-end solution for that. So I think AI has developed at a really good pace, and it's very easy to use these tools these days because like everything AI already knows that. You just have to do that steps because AI cannot do that on its own. Like candidates just have to implement those steps, and like their website or portfolio, whatever they're building, it can be like totally easy. Like it's very easy to make it live these days. So I really hope that candidates take out this practical advance and start building. And then I think distribution, which already I highlighted, that is also another aspect. So start posting on the LinkedIn. I think you can get very organic distribution from that place. So I think one more thing, like what is happening these days is that a lot of product managers are just utilizing AI. They are not going into the basic details, like like how to fine tune the model, or they're simply adding or identifying the problem where they can utilize the AI, but they are not going deeper. Whereas into the AI product managers, where they work with the data scientists, they understand like how the system should behave, which model to pick, how they have to work on the accuracy part. So a lot of different terms comes in for the AI product managers. So like for the candidates like who actually don't know the difference between the PM and an AI PM, so what do you have to say about the particular difference between those two different designations?
Okay, so I think in today's time, every PM, in my opinion, is somehow connected to AI,
Hmm.
right? So, if I were to put it into three buckets, right? So I will call the first bucket as AI-enabled PMs, right? So AI-enabled PMs essentially will be the ones who are using these tools, ChatGPT, Claude, or any other tool, to get their work done, right? Which is brainstorming, maybe PRD creation, etc. Basic things, right? So in today's time, I think everyone should be AI-enabled PMs, right? Second, I will put that as AI-empowered PMs, right? Who are leveraging AI in their products, basically, or applied AI PMs, I can put it that way, right?
Hmm.
So wherein PMs are using AI into their products. They are building AI related features. They are getting involved in discussions which are around pricing, model selection, etc. So at least they may not be in a decision making situation, but they are getting involved. They're trying to understand on what basis are we doing and etc. And in some cases, they're trying to influence the decision also wherever required. And third is the typical AI native, so to say, or uh, core AI PMs, I will
Hmm.
say, right?
Yeah.
Not AI native, but core AI PMs. So these are the ones who are building AI or LLM products, right? They're very few in count, uh, mostly working in the frontier AI labs, OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, etc. So this is, I will say, is a rare breed, right? Just probably a few hundreds in count because it requires a good amount of knowledge about statistics, about machine learning, computer science. Mostly, a lot of these would be PhDs, etc.
Yeah.
So I think this is how I would define. I wouldn't say like a PM I mean specifically, even though on paper the designation may be product manager, but if that is the case, I will put them under as AI enabled PMs.
Thanks, Vishal, for sharing those insights.